Okay,
no,
stop. Have you heard of the band, obviously,
answer?
Alien Ant Farm?
Yes.
Yeah.
I figured out how they got their name. I was high, and I was like, okay, what if every star is a sun?
That's a lot of suns.
It's true.
Okay.
Well, technically, aren't they?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think they all have planets, obviously.
No.
Every star is a sun. That's what I was told. What if we are someone's science project and we're just like in their garage, like in a little like clear like crab like terrarium, hermit crab terrarium, and we are little ants in their science project?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I would
And
think
then
that too if
maybe
I was
we
high.
are
Yeah.
alien ant farms.
Yeah.
Wow. I had that idea and I was like, that'd be a great band name. Whoa, someone already did that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Get a little touch up. Wait, that's actually really cool.
That's
water lettuce is very cool.
Yeah.
Water lettuce.
Well, just like doing some weird stuff. Like I'm just trying to make everything like, so now because I travel so much, we've been working on a 250 linear feet chicken tunnel that goes into a geodesic dome. I'll get you pictures, that has the pond in it so that they can kind of be in a contained area that utilizes still the whole portion of my lawn. Cause I don't want to like lock them in.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to get eaten by a hawk
Yeah.
while I'm at Stagecoach. You know what I
could do
mean?
this
So
whole,
I
like,
created this whole thing for them and I'm kind of training them how to forage through it. And the pond will need to be
Those are some
self-cleaning.
lucky fucking
They're lucky ducks,
ducks.
right? Especially like
What a lucky duck.
What a
yeah.
lucky duck.
And then sometimes the chickens get scared and I'm like, you little chicken. And then I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Come here, you little chicken.
Come here, you little chicken.
You want
Just
some
be a
water
little
lettuce?
chicken.
My old neighbor
It's me, Nene.
used to have
It's me,
chickens.
Nene.
And one time she was coming over and she had the chicken in her arm and she's like, what did the chicken say when you crossed the road as she was crossing it?
Oh
And
my
I'm sorry,
gosh.
so
Mark.
cute.
Well,
Such a dumb
chickens
little.
are
But
so
she had
cute.
six and she lost a lot. It wasn't easy for her.
That's
she
what.
was constantly.
That's like. It's like there's predators. There's like natural stuff. So
Yeah.
it's been one of them. We have a mutual best friend, and one of the chickens passed away on her watch.
She was fucked up.
The girls were, and I haven't experienced it firsthand, but I'm like, well, actually, one of my injured girls just never recovered. But it's like, but you're watching, like, these girls are, like, they look, oh no, it's not good. They're like trying to save these chickens, and I'm on tour, and I'm like,
And you become attached to them, right? They're smart.
I'm really
Okay.
working
don't really care.
on
Don't
not.
care. Just using them for their eggs.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying
Not
not
at
to
all.
like.
I just want fresh
love
eggs.
them, but like my 11-year-old chicken sitter, she's given them all names, but I'm trying to remember that like.
My 11-year-old
You don't
chicken sitter.
name
Yeah,
them?
Nora
That's like
Kate.
the first thing I do.
No, I tried, and then I just decided that their names worked better. Like I was trying to name them like Loretta, because one's called like an Americana, and I was like Americana, like we'll call her like Loretta Lynn or
Yeah.
Lou.
Yeah.
But they've named them, and I am like, oh, the little brown and black one. There's two that break out every day, and the other ones don't realize they found like that there's nobody like getting all the worms out front, and so every neighbor has contacted me and been like, they're chickens. And I'm like, the thing is, if you ignore them, they'll hop back over in 10 minutes. If you try to get them in, you'll run around the neighborhood for 8 minutes trying to get them to jump back over the
I'll just be like,
But
But you have a great
they're
property
on their
for
own.
chickens.
I really do. And it's like, it's just, I don't know. So for me, we were talking about you just get a dog, like, just out of nowhere.
like a little herding.
You.
Oh.
Like, just like the empathy, you know? Like,
yes,
I'm just going to go grab a dog. And then
Yeah.
now for 14 years, I have a dog.
real quick.
And I'm like
I just gotta
that.
go get a couple ducks.
But you're like,
assless
I gotta go
ducks.
get a couple chickens.
Well, I got
my
the dogs and
we're
the
burying my
cats.
dad in
Two
about a
dogs,
half hour.
two cats, and like,
Can I
you
leave
know.
these ducks here?
Yeah.
The city's legal amount of chickens, you know?
Chickens.
Yeah.
And it's great.
What is the legal amount?
6.
For my acreage, 6.
It's
Okay.
in
How many-
Donaldson too. It was 6.
Well, hold on. I don't want to
A
out
lot
you.
more
But
than
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But
I think on the bed here,
but
there's
I
no
hatched
fucking
some of my
rules.
own eggs, so I could get you started, like literally, like in about 2 weeks with some chickens.
There is
right
nothing
here.
more, and
'Cause
I
hatched
eat
my
eggs
own
like a motherfucker.
And
There's
so do
nothing
I.
better than
freshie.
fresh
Eggs.
eggs.
I know.
I should
The
have probably
colors
just eggs
just
and- oh,
different. They
smart. I gotta be
taste
better at
different.
this.
Yeah. Be better.
Yeah,
You're
can
going
you be
on a
better?
podcast. Bring your
Be
eggs.
better. Go home
I
real
got
quick. Come
branded
back.
content like the best little hen house in Tennessee, like off of the best little whorehouse in Texas
Yes.
logo.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't have enough eggs to do anything with them, but they're gonna have like a little sign
Oh, that's so cute.
Little eggs
I'll
for
come
for
get eggs
sale,
from
like,
you.
you know.
Too. God, yeah.
Please, I'll just bring them to you.
Do you have any other animals? What is?
2 dogs and 2 cats. It's like a small. And last night, Sierra brought over 2 baby pigs, and unfortunately,
What?
they're gonna meet max capacity. But I've already named them, and I was trying. I'm gonna babysit them today when this is over. So we
Oh
should
my
talk about
God,
something
that's
other than
so
farm
cute.
animals.
And
so
then-
I can go get
Wait,
my
is
big-
she gonna keep them?
No, but
Why?
because they're kind of like they're just traveling with their like farmer father who's like rehabbing them right now because they got injured because they're in these their mom can like step on their feet and stuff. So, so
no.
they're healing. They're healed, but they're.
Do you have photos
they're,
of that by chance?
Gosh, where's my phone? I was
Baby
like trying to hide my
pigs
phone.
we all know that
Okay.
pigs are ridiculously smart.
Yeah.
Like they're
So
dogs.
and I was like forcing.
better
So
than
one
the
of their
two
little
assholes I have inside.
faces
3
is
assholes.
smushier than the other. So I named him Possum last night because he's like, and I made him cuddle me. And then this other one's pretty insane. So I called him Buck, and this is Buck and Possum.
What?
Oh, look at their delicious.
They're gonna be big.
They're gonna be 600
Yeah.
pounds. So they're just hanging
I
out for
couldn't-
the
Did she just
weekend.
say 600?
600.
600 pounds
So they're
each?
gonna be hanging out for the weekend. So each together.
Or-
And
Are these going to be just like farm
they're
pigs? though?
farm
Like
pigs,
nothing's
and,
going
and
to
they
happen.
come from a big property in Virginia with like hundreds of pigs. But they're like I said, they're being bottle fed or like they drink out of a little carafe or whatever. But they're like drinking milk that was brought down. So they're on a little trip and they're just on a little rehab trip and they're hanging out in the yard and foraging around and then they'll go back to their farm life. They said mostly probably as pets just because they'll be like communicative and stuff. So it's like the ones that get injured get a better life than the one. But I mean, they're going to all have a great life until
Yeah.
they don't. But
Because we're
but
not
it's at
getting
least
anything from
ethical.
pigs besides like we
Meat.
know.
Yeah.
Well, the meat, right?
Uh-huh.
We're not
Yeah.
getting like milk. We're not getting fur. We're not getting
No.
any.
And
Like,
in
they're
this
just-
environment,
yeah,
they're
they're-
at least all
they
their
have
pigs are free ranging, swapping
fur, basically.
they're moving, they're doing like moving the pastures and stuff so that it's all regenerative. Like that's how we should eat, you know. And I'm not even. I never even tuned. I tried to not pay attention because it's actually so sad the meat industry. Do you know what I mean? But it's like I
it's
tried to tune it out, and I'm like, oh,
wildly
actually,
fucked
it's
up.
like. Yeah,
Wildly
some
fucked
lucky
up.
ducks, some lucky chickens, kind
Some-
of
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
Do you eat meat too?
Yeah.
Yeah. And where do you get it from? Like,
well, now just because like when I'm home, I go to Lebanon and go to Cedar Creek Butcher, and then Whole Foods or Sprouts or something, something.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
I'm getting everything, I don't really have time to go out and
Yeah.
get it all in that way. Or order on Gold Belly or something, just genuinely to try to get something like from somebody
actual,
farm.
Like
yeah.
a decent,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then on tour, you're just trying to eat at a nice farm to table restaurant, hoping they have those. Like,
Yeah.
and you know that it's unavoidable because there's a whole world out there.
There's a whole
But it is
world
pretty.
out
and
there.
you don't know where
But
restaurants
it
are getting
is
things.
sad that to see from just an animal loving perspective, I'm like, oh wow, that's why I don't quite name them because the effort I'm going forward to prevent them, from having a bad life versus eating chicken. I'm like,
yeah.
that's just the
I get
frizzle.
that.
That's just the
I
funny
know.
looking one or whatever.
know.
But it's not enough attachment.
Would you ever have like live on an actual farm and do that
100?
whole?
Well, I don't know
You
because of
kind of
time and
do,
stuff.
babe.
But honestly, just to loop back to my dad, I thought that I would probably have to just take care of my parent, and then I'd convince them to be at home with whatever I acquired, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there's pawpaws out there everywhere. I love, Wade always was like, she loves old men. I could just find
old men
my,
too. I love old men
little
too.
Your farm hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
your farm
dude
hand,
that
your
is just
pawpaw.
you know what?
He's like, Nikki,
Come on out and just be my pawpaw.
Yeah, I've been
Fit all
retired.
your
I've been retired for 20
Tell
years.
me I'm lazy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But mostly tell me I'm pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it's just the chickens essentially are just an opportunity to feel something like you're giving it all the things and it's
Yeah.
giving it back.
Yeah.
So I go out and the chicken sitter's been collecting eggs. My landscaper is
sitter.
now
Oh my God.
they're his babies, the chickens and ducks. I'm like, did you ever picture this in your
It's
life?
so
And he's
cute.
like, no.
Do you
what I
know they
mean?
have outfits for chickens?
little skirts
Yes.
and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. And a lot of them.
just for chicken bodies.
Obviously,
yeah.
that's what we would be doing if we got
Uh-huh.
acquired chickens.
Well, because people end up with a house chicken because if they do get injured, that's Gertie
bring 'em in,
comes in
Gertie
every
comes in the
night
house.
because they worry about her more than the other. And now Ashton has a bunch of chickens, and I know she likes them, so she just had to cut. It was like responsibility to her to give her these chickens.
Yeah.
But she does an egg count. She lays them all out in order. Nobody can touch the eggs for a week because she wants to see how they're paying rent. She says, like, and she's
Oh
like,
my God,
and
it's
she's
like a whole thing.
But it's like for her, it's like then she's got to give them more calcium or something. So
Yeah.
it's cute, but it's like, but we're like, but I told them I was like, you can't collect. You're taking my joy if you take all the eggs.
Yeah.
Jody got
Yeah.
me a 100-year-old egg basket.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
so cute.
You know?
Is it metal? Yeah.
You like, first of all, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Singer, songwriter, Americana, I know. I was gonna get to that. I know. Yeah. Vintage shop owner. Like, what do you not do? But I was gonna say,
Yes.
you just like embody, like if there was like a video game of like
Sims.
Americana singer, you would just embody it because you're just like. Just everything about you, like you're such a vibe. You smoke weed.
Sorry.
You're so cool. You own a vintage shop. You know how to raise chickens. You're a badass singer, a songwriter. You're on tour all the time.
Do you ride a
It's
motorcycle?
just dope.
Yes. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. I mean that
said
in, like, a
yesterday,
dope
and
way.
it wasn't a dig at like other people, but it kind of sometimes is like but they said, you know, most artists aren't like that. And I said, are they really artists? Because there's lots of, and I'm not, it's a little bit of a dig, but it's like an all-encompassing artist.
Yeah.
Like there's so many people that need a style. And by the way, I want a stylist to like help me do the job.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that require a lot of other components. And in my opinion, that is because they have found an art form. But for me, art is like, you are an artist. You do makeup, but like your house, I'm like, aside from my car, because it needs to be new and fancy and have heaters to get me where I'm going in the winter. You know, heat heaters.
Or lettuce.
You know, everything is an artistic expression.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I do. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it's real as it comes in that way. You
Yeah.
know, and it's almost impossible to pretend to be
Anything
Sure.
else?
another thing. And
Right.
that's your best and your worst quality when
Yeah.
it's like that.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are just like, you know, maybe they're singers or maybe they're songwriters. You know what I mean? But like, you can kind of hone in on who in your life are true artists.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know
I was
what
gonna
mean?
say too, in that like people like understand the people who are like-minded and get that and
Yeah.
are that too.
And even if you were a minimalist, I would be able to see your style through
Yes.
your home
Yeah.
and your Instagram, even, you know, not in a superficial way, you know what I mean? Just in your dressing, you know, everything.
sure.
So I'm like, that's what I have been like really realizing is like the most important part of like what I am is that I just try to be an artist.
Yeah.
You know, and so I learned how to ride the motorcycle to like get I learned how to stand up on a surfboard. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, you did.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
But
you did, but you
but I
did. You
wanted
tried-
as a
yeah.
young person to learn
Yeah.
how to. I cannot snowboard very good. I'm a skier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's still only a kind of a good one. But you know what I mean? But I saw out like the different paintbrushes. Or
Yeah.
something.
I love
Yeah,
that.
you're very like your vibe like follows through like everything aspect of your life.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
very
That's what I
important
get
to me.
from you.
And
I
that's
don't
what
know
I
you.
push on my friends, like, you know, to like find out what they like if they're missing a little part of that. And
Yeah.
I'm missing parts of it. Like,
and you don't know until you explore it.
100%.
Yeah.
And like someone
You're
said the
like-
other day, gosh, yeah, that has always happened to me. And I said, yeah, but you're 18 years younger than me. Like,
Yeah.
think of all the things that you
Sure.
can like
Yeah.
hone in on.
And the older you
know?
get too, the
Yeah.
more like things that you're like, oh shit, I didn't even think about
Uh-huh,
trying this. or
And in that
didn't
way,
even-
then you're like, all right, bring it on.
Yeah.
Years, you know, I can handle that.
And it's a level of confidence that you have now that you can do it like in a different way too.
100%.
You know?
And
Yeah.
a lot of mistakes left behind. You
For
know?
sure. Yeah.
Girl, the
Yeah.
mistakes. Yeah, girl.
Let's leave those in the closet.
Where are you from originally?
Greenville, South Carolina. That's where the
Okay.
airport is. I'm from Woodruff, South Carolina, and
Okay.
Simpsonville, two small towns, like in a small town.
Oh, cute.
Uh-huh.
That must have
Carolina-
been like
I love the Carolinas.
cute growing up in
I think it
Carolina.
was cute. Like
Yeah.
I would get to ride. I think looking now, because my sister still lives there, and I could ride seeing where I was allowed to ride my bike too. You definitely know that I was an '80s kid. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I was allowed to go up to the square. I could
Yeah.
get
Oh,
over
we
to the
rode our
Little
bu- bar-
Caesar.
we never-
Yeah, because you
Bye.
were allowed to be in a certain neighborhood or two,
Yeah.
like you know, like in terms of geography, and then I'd figure out how to like lock. You know, oh, well, if you cut through
Yeah.
Poinsettia at a Powderhorn, you can roll up to the Little Caesars and flirt with the
Yeah.
skateboarders. You know,
We just had one dinner
Check.
bell around 6 o'clock. Other
Yeah.
than that, we were out from the morning
100%.
until, and then we'd be out after dinner.
Yeah, we
too.
had the
100%.
dusk. Like, and I grew up,
Wherever.
and I moved to LA just before I turned 19. and I had never seen any movies or anything. So it was like my whole youth with friends and dating were like, how have you not seen?
What do you mean you've never seen it? You
I just
didn't
did.
grow
I
up
was
with-
outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had to. We could stay out till we were dark, and we were
Yeah.
outside at the park, in the woods, like any.
Yeah.
And so I just hadn't pop culture came. I watched MTV when I watched this kid that had cable, like in the summer, like from like 12 to 16, and but my exposure to like cool movies and a lot of like even country music, because I was like trying to like listen to Radiohead, not like country music.
Yeah.
People where I'm from listen to, dude.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, do you listen to Waylon and Loretta? And I was like, the lady with the motocross course? And they were like, Loretta Lynn? Like, yeah, she.
Wait, who are you thinking of?
Loretta Lynn, but her property is where the national motocross
I
races
didn't know
were
that.
for
For
real?
100%. And that's the first time I went to Loretta Lynn's
damn.
property. I was like, who is? And I knew coal miner's daughter, but I wasn't listening to 70s country music until I met actually a bunch of my peers at that time in my like early 19 to 20s in LA, but a guy in particular, Zach Cowie, like gave me an iPod of stuff that just helped me like deep dive into like 70s outlaw country and go, okay, I do like this.
Yeah.
I loved 90s country, but then everything else just felt.
And what is 70s outlaws country? Exactly?
Loretta,
Like,
I mean, Loretta was just like a
okay.
pioneer of 60s and 70s, but it was Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Chris
Yeah.
Christopherson, Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton's early days, and then Dottie West, and then it goes into
Dottie West. I've never heard of that person.
So I was actually deep diving on stuff like that because I was listening to a Jody Messina track that's coming out soon that I sang on, and the original was, there's all these, because women were pioneering. Loretta and Dolly and Dottie West were opening doors for us, and we know the top 5 of that era.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of chicks, crooning and writing songs and
badass women too.
you had to be, I'm sure, to like be up against, like working my first job was at a car dealership, and I learned to like Kitty Wells. And that's even older. That's, I think that's 50s, 60s.
Oh yeah.
She named it after
Kitty Wells.
I think her.
Yeah.
Tara and I don't know a lot about country. I mean, we know those names, but we're
Compared
not.
to my friends here that are dedicated solely to country music, neither do I.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Interesting,
Because
yeah.
they deep dive and they know discography, and they're like, Jack Clements wrote all that shit. And I'm like, who
the hell
And it
is
turns
that?
out that like I
know.
love a lot of the people that he wrote for because he wrote for them.
Right,
not
yeah.
only, but the further you go into a genre, and I still I'm wondering if I can continue to say I sing country music, because Dan Arbach, Josh Homme, now Butch Walker. Like, I kind of make rock songs, but
I
there's no
love
rock
Josh Homme.
genre.
Josh Homme is probably one
He
of
made my last record, so
Queens of Stone Age.
yeah.
Oh God.
So the vibe is
Hot.
like,
And that's my type of music. That's what I grew up
yeah.
listening to.
And
That's
so I'm like, that's where I go to make to musically partner. So I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not country either.
Yeah.
But that's like a good way to explain it to a rock person who's like, well, there's a lot of accent and pedal steel. To a country person, they're like, or a rock person, they're like, well, I don't listen to country music, but I listen to that.
So is it
you
more
know?
Americana then? Is that what
I
makes
guess so,
Americana
but then
like-
Americana now is very all-encompassing of like some bluegrass and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just
Like
think
Sturgill
like
Simpson?
I like Patti Smith. I like Lucinda Williams.
Love
I
Lucinda
like
Williams.
Patty Loveless. I like Linda Ronstadt. Like the grittier,
Totally.
Stevie Nicks, the grittier bitches.
Artists.
100%. And
Yeah.
so, and I was only trying to figure out what Nikki Lane sounded like. So it's like I don't want to be compared to too many other, and I listen to a lot of dude artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, and then you see what makes things Americana or pop country or whatever. It's just similarity sometimes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm hung in a weird spot, and I do think it's a good thing. It doesn't
it's a
mean
great
some
thing.
people don't know where to put me,
Yeah.
on the radio or something like that. But
Well, you do stand out. Number one, your voice is very specific.
Yes.
Like there's no one else that sounds like you.
Thank you.
You have a very who's
We don't
singing
smoke
when,
enough weed.
When when you hear your music, you're like, oh, that's Nikki Lane right there. That's, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just like exactly who you are, the all-encompassing too,
Yeah.
is just
To be
very
an individual.
specific. To
And
be an
to-
individual.
And to be a
exactly.
character without being like a gimmick, which
Yeah.
I think is like
Yeah.
another thing that's hard. You
Yeah.
know, you want to define what it is, but you want to come off stage and not have to like
Sure, you want it to still be
completely
you.
peel it off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so then when did you come to Nashville And was it always like, when did you become a singer? When did you decide to be a singer? How
So
did
I
that?
do think like formatively, like, when my parents were divorcing and I was like separating out of like a very chaotic household into like a single mom environment, like my granddad was like very much like he would take me to like the mountain music shop, which was like dulcimers and he listened to a lot of gospel and like Appalachian like mountain music. So I was listening and I was keen to music through like my neighbors listening to classic rock, my mom being into Motown and country, and my dad being into so I was definitely absorbing and in choir, but I did not identify as like a singer. But I know that choir and in church and in school was like pretty life-saving retrospectively, just because it like
It
put
opened
me
up
in a
that
healthy
door.
environment and gave
Yeah.
me like a place where like I had to get better at it. Like I remember Miss Wardlaw, like in my mind, she had a ruler when you didn't hit your thing, but it wasn't like aggressive. It was like but it was like, but I was like, got it. Like I said, think I said the other day, I want a gym instructor that's kind of like, I'm charging you if you're late. And I'm like, got it, I'll be there. Otherwise, I might not go. Like, like I'll push it.
And also whips you, too,
But I
when you're-
remember,
when you're-
I
you're like-
remember Barry's boot camp. Why do you think that's a business?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like yell at you or something. But I, I remember like wanting to do good in that, and then I moved on and I was a single mom's kid. Like I had jobs, always jobs. So when I moved to LA, like I worked as a waitress and I worked as a nanny and I was like jobs. So I didn't start playing music till I was 25. I was actually probably 23 and 24 living above a coffee shop in LA, and I had a peer that had the same birthday as me, so we would hang sometimes and he would like strum a guitar and I would like sing, and so I was writing my first songs at that point, but I was applying for a job coming to work for Mark Echo in New York.
Wow,
After working
damn.
at Fred Siegel, I wanted to start a brand,
Mark
and so I had
Echo.
learned about the retail end, but I was like, how do you make things cheap enough to like double twice or or whatever,
Yeah.
And I interviewed with True Religion and American Apparel and all these people who wanted to give me like
Nice.
35 grand a year, but I was making like 50 grand a year selling jeans to like like chilling at my
Yeah.
and doing really good for a high school dropout young person who knew that I just wanted to like change my trajectory or whatever, right? And I went to New York to work for Mark Echo. There was like a make-believe position. I was like I was like helping in development of them taking on a women's line, and I was making up names. It's kind of like a creative director, but not a lot of play. No, I think I used like 8 fonts in my pitch letter to them.
Nice.
What was I doing?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looked really cool.
Yeah, sure.
But like what? I would be like, this
You're
person's
faking it.
nuts.
You're just throwing it out there.
8
You're like,
fonts. Like I was like, and I will be great. It was awesome. But I got the
That was all
job.
like streetwear, right?
Yeah, but they were doing 60,000 units per SKU, and then they were putting it into like Macy's, and then they were moving it like faster than Tommy Hilfiger or any of their competitors, because there was like we do restocks every 4 weeks on the floor, and he's like, not if it's not moving. The guy Seth Gershberg, and I was like, okay, what? And he's like, if it's not moving, you get it into the outlet. And I was like, oh, you bought an outlet. It just seemed like very like smart, and I made a joke at that time because I wanted to have a jean brand, and now I'm like, I'm a Jean and Willie kind of did it for me. Like I'll just wear their jeans and not like they figure out how to do any of that shit. But that was my like long-term dream, and I joked, I could sell more jeans if I was famous, I guess, but I wrote a record talking in jest about my ex-boyfriend at the time. Like I was very upset with him, and so we broke up, and I wrote 10 songs mouthing off, and then I got a record deal for it, and then I married the guy, and so we had this young 20s like short-lived marriage, but he's still my buddy. I just think we were both Southern, and based on like his upbringing and even just like my own like dream ideal, what I thought I wanted as a 25-year-old was like, let's do it, like let's just do. We can both just do all the dumb hard shit together, and I think that works in a lot of things, but it doesn't work.
Mindset, though.
Well, and the archetypes have to match, and and also like that's very hard if all that works for two people to pursue creative fields at the same time.
Was he a musician? As well? Yeah.
And I was making a record, truthfully at the time, to say I could too, because I was like didn't like how things were going, so I just was like, I'll show you what I will do. And I said I like this, talk about something silly to get out of like spite or defiance, but I also,
the best stuff comes out of that,
100%. And then like, as like I matured and grew up, like my granddad passed away slightly before my dad. And I was like, oh my God,
Did you get a lamb? Did you stop at the lamb store real quick?
Well, there was.
After...
I didn't go to his funeral because there were two, and this was the like one that didn't believe in me, and I was like, and I felt that as a kid, you know, like he wanted me to be an engineer, not a fashion person or not a music, you know, it's safe bet, you know, and I was like the black sheep with my dad. I was like, whatever I want, you know.
Was there ever a moment where you're like, well, maybe I should think about going to school to be an engineer?
Well, I had dropped out because of all of the family dynamics and how toxic my family environment was as a young adult. So I was like, that wasn't even a choice for me anymore. So I was like, I'm going to still, but I do think I'm very successful in defiance of these like ultimately men in my life that were like, telling me
you're not gonna make
and then I went and now I'm cautious of trying to be doing things in defiance anyways, just because I am very tired from proving points for 20 years.
We get really tired.
You know,
I do
like,
know.
Okay,
oh
you know,
my God.
I say it all the time. Like I'm tired of all of it. I'm like
so tired.
So I'm just like now I'm just like
I don't care.
How can I do what I want to do, and how can I build a team of things that I want to do so that I don't do things I don't need to prove anything anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever did, but I did try to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it takes a lot of your power too to be able to do that, because you're doing it from defiancy. So it takes like a certain, like you have to prove something.
Yeah.
And you're proving, and that takes a lot of energy. So
100%.
A point
and then
where
I'm just like, okay, now it's chickens.
And
that's what I'm like. And I'm like, and if you can do, if you've got an offer good enough, if this makes enough sense. Otherwise, like, you know, and you'll see, I love to do things that no one asked me to do. Like, renovate your house for you. Like
other people's houses?
And I want to be paid fairly, not like as an artist, but like I'm gonna do the job, and I will fucking like style a record. Like I'll do things like style a music video. Well, I'll knock it like once, and then I'll be like, y'all help me knock
she'll
this
make
fucking
the
wall down.
decision to do
Like,
it.
But I'm like, I'm not scared of physical labor, but the smartest thing for me to do is to be able to execute, facilitate, source the material, like make sure that it keeps moving, and then get perfect. He's like, I'm not very good at guitar. I'm gonna try to get better at it, but I'm not very good at it by myself.
Oh, I just assumed you were.
Ew. It's hard for me, and I hate doing things I'm bad at. But I'm gonna try.
Guitars.
I'm trying so hard to get better. I'm trying to play some like
memeing that
duo and trio shows, and I'm like 41, and I'm like scared of guitar. Sometimes.
You got this.
No.
You got this.
Yes.
You got this. You got this.
Yes.
You got this. You got this.
The whole point is
Nikki Lane, I think you can play guitar.
I do all the time. If there's anyone else there moving, I'm like, yeah, and I just do it. But the second I can hear it, my brain is like, wrong note, and like taxes, like, you know, and because I'm just ADD, so it's like if I can't hear it, I'm just like, I got it, and I go. But the second my point is, I hire fantastic musicians to do something that I've tried to do for many years and haven't gotten better at it. But I can use a jigsaw, skill saw, you know, back up a trailer, like, you know, you name it, you know, drive as many gears as there is in a machine. Just tell me like what, you know, what RPMs I'm looking for. But I can't.
She can't. She looks like she's got it. She
stop.
looks like she knows how to play the guitar.
But you know, there are certain things that you lean in on the pros for. So I love to solve a problem, build a team, produce an event.
Yeah.
Something because I want the extra money without leaving my house.
Yeah.
Because I want to, and because it's going to look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can do it. And then I'll let you know if we'll do it again.
I know. The
I'm
entire
trying
time I've known you, you're always doing some kind of project.
It's
Constantly.
just good for me.
Yeah.
You can't sit still.
Why would I? Oh yeah, I'm trying. I want to.
Like as of right now, we metaphorically like.
I'm having a hard time now.
So
she's like, actually, I gotta stand up right now. Yeah.
It's delayed by the time it sets in. Yeah, sure.
I see you at like 80 or 90 years old, the same exact person.
I know.
Like, just
I'm
not
like
this energy, and that's the stuff that's the shit that keeps you young.
Yeah.
In my new song, it says, "It's funny how your dreams can turn to dust, but if you don't keep moving, you'll rust."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Amen.
because it's true. I wrote that with Meg McCree and Ben Chapman. They helped me with that cleverness. But I feel like there's like a, you know, do it while you can. You know?
Amen.
And then
absolutely.
we'll see I don't know what later
Be
looks
someone like the
I gotta
80-year-old
get
version of
later.
yourself will be proud
Yeah.
of. That's where I look now. I see like
Have you seen that
80-year-old
video
man,
with the Dr. Pepper lady? And she's like 104, and they're like, "What do you do?" And she's like, "I drink 2 Dr. Peppers a day." And he's like, "Is that good for you?" And she's like, "Well, I had a doctor and like 3 husbands that told me it was bad for me,
And they're all dead.
And they're all dead."
Yeah.
Amazing.
And and you said that's not a mini Coke, that's a mini Dr. Pepper. And
That's why she does it.
Oh.
She was like, no, there's like a thing to
No,
there's like
it's
a thing
just
about
why I
it.
keep doing it. Because, like, that was my, like, crack when I was a kid. I was like, what's up? Like,
Oh,
I'm
Dr.
ready to
Pepper's
go,
so gross to me.
go.
Oh,
My dad, what a psycho.
No,
He would
I
give
like
me
a cold
$100.
Dr. Pepper every once in a while.
never-
It's
Stop.
got into
It's
it.
too
moment.
sweet. It's really sweet. But my dad would give us a $100 bill, and we could go into the buy-low and like get prep up for the weekend.
buy-low?
It was the grocery store, and we could prep
buy-low.
up. And I'd get like 3 or 4 boy magazines, like Jonathan Taylor Thomas or
yep.
something.
Yum,
And
meow.
I'd get like a pop gun or something, and like some ices in the little tube,
Hell
and
yeah.
a steak for my dad, and some baked potatoes,
What a
and like
smorgasbord.
6 frozen pizzas, and that would be like the weekend, like a bag of candy.
Yeah.
You just go buck wild at my dad's house, and from Friday to Sunday, like
Yeah, $100 can get you
$100 is a long way.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
Especially back in the 80s.
Yeah, and I was like a hustler at like
$100?
6,
Yeah, it
so
goes
I'd like
forever.
spend 62 in like pocket. Of
Of
like,
course you would.
we did
Obviously.
good. We did
I
good.
would
I got
do
some
that.
Business
business.
woman.
Yeah, we don't have
First
any
and
money.
foremost.
Yeah,
I know.
Take a percentage.
Yeah.
I'm doing the
Taking a
work.
cut. I'm taking a cut. To circle back to the question, I'm not sure that you answered. How did you like get into music? I was giggling because I was like,
I got
do the same
cheated
shit.
on. I wrote a record to spite someone.
But
Yeah.
how did Nashville?
Oh,
How did you come here?
I got a record deal, and I had just gotten married to Joe, and I said, I don't want to, I didn't want to but I was like, I got to go. I can't tour from Brooklyn. Like I don't know.
Oh, you were
country-
living in New York at the time.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
was living in New York. at the
Okay,
time.
copy that.
Working for Mark Echo. I moved
Okay.
from
Still.
LA. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And no, I had quit, and I was working actually at What Goes Around Comes Around. I was working at the Gutter, a bowling alley. I was working at Brooklyn Bowl. I was like trying to figure out how
I
to
know
work
the
like
Gutter.
as few hours as possible, and like eat and like try to be a country singer. And my friends, I have a lot of friends. Maybe not a lot of friends from 20 years ago, but like 6 or 8 friends from that time period. They're like, remember, you were like, I'm going to be a country singer. And I was like, but I am. Like, why is that? Why is that? But I did. I just turned. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to try it. I'm just going to
Because
try.
they probably knew you as this one
And
person
my thing
who
has
was
always
designing
been like,
clothes.
so what? Go back to South Carolina if it doesn't work. So
Yeah.
what? Go back to LA if it doesn't
Just
work.
try
so
it.
what?
Just do it.
Just try.
Yeah.
Or shut up. But don't talk about something
Yeah.
and not try. Unless
Yeah.
you just can't. Like obviously there's like parameters. Well, but it's like if you can, just try.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just want to go. Like that's what we're doing. And so we came, and it was like, I said like I got here at a good time. Like a lot of good things happened.
What year did
like
you get
Yeah.
here?
2009. I remember like 2010. We moved here in October.
Okay.
And so, I got here and like things kind of fell into place. It was rickety, but it was like, but I look still back at like the budgets of the first like 6 tours, and like they were bad,
Yeah.
but they doubled, and like, and then sometimes they can't double anymore because it becomes a decent amount of money. But
Yeah.
it's like, but I like it. I had to say, because I want to share those budgets with like young artists that are like, I'm going to lose $7,000. And I'm like, I fucking know.
Yeah.
You're going to lose 32 tours from now.
Yeah.
And that sounds impossible because you don't have it, but like some stupid thing's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. And then you're going to go.
Yeah.
And then you're going to keep going. Oh, no.
I know.
And then
I
80's
know,
like only
I
halfway.
know.
So that sounds crazy.
Do you pick like your
So-
openers or anything, or do you?
I haven't even headlined in forever. That's where I'm at
What?
I'm at a new spot for myself because I had the blessing of like opening for Chris Stapleton for like years, opening for Lana Del Rey, opening for Orville Peck, and creating this
I love Orville Peck.
really cool trajectory. But then like would be tired after touring and everybody else was going home, and I wouldn't headline, and so now we're headlining for the first time like in years, like 2 or 3 years since
When
the
does that start?
just 4 days in April, but then
okay.
but then I start feeding out records. So this will be the teasers for the record are coming probably right when whatever this is coming.
Yeah.
Who knows when this is coming?
4
Tomorrow?
weeks.
Great. The
Great.
teasers will be here.
Oh my God,
And, yeah.
yay.
And so we'll be moving
timing.
into a record cycle, and it'll be fun. And so then I'll start kind of paying the dues that I kind of accidentally skipped over the last few years. Like I didn't take much time off, but I still have to go sell my own ticket. And of course I'll pick my openers, but they kind of pick themselves because it's only, like I look at Stapleton and they have 3 or 4 people at a time, and that kind of rotates as people work. But like, it's not like favoritism, I swear. It's like trusted partners, where it's like right now Cotton Clifton, who's my guitar player, is putting out a record and he'll open for me, as Leroy from the North, Eli Wolfmeyer had done years before, where it's like hopefully he'll quit this year, and that's only because he'll be a successful
And do his
musician.
own-
Yeah,
and his name's Cotton.
so it's been
That's
so
a
it's
great
been
name.
fun
That's a great
to
name.
play with him, but as his record comes out, like he'll open for me and then probably have to leave, and that will suck, and then it won't,
Yeah.
someone else will want to play guitar, and that'll be fun. Or we'll find ways to make both things work, which is also great, you know what I mean? But it's like, but it'll be cool to see, because
Watch
that's
him
the point
kinda
of
climb
what
and-
he's doing.
Sure.
Yeah. And so, but just other than that, leaving room for a lot of cool people that in our environment that want to go, but always like based on when they should go. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like you got to be working something to want to go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not make a bunch of money and like have those first budgets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but you can see the opportunity in merch. Like I love my fan is like, because I've opened for a lot of really cool, like a Stapleton, but also like early days of getting it open for Shaky Graves, who I just saw from 10 years, and then Social
cool.
Distortion.
That's
and then,
wild.
like, it's a
That's
good
amazing.
variety of people. We picked up a lot of people opening for Old 97s, Jenny Lewis, but it's like you get to open for these people who have
Does Social D
great.
just come and hit you up and is like,
Yeah,
Nikki Lane, come
yeah.
and open for me? I
Crazy.
know.
I think Shane
love those
asked me, and then I got to open for Mike Ness. I think that was the first time my
my
band
God,
played the
whoa,
Ryman.
damn.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's like, but those were like things that, like, so it's like you grow up listening. I opened for Spiritualized, which was like I used to make out to a record from Spiritualized in high school, and then I got to open for them, and it's like the perspective, is like, okay, cool, and then you take away some of their fans, right?
Yeah.
And then you realize you have your own fan type,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
cool,
sure.
and but that like that creates its own little like family of people,
Yeah.
and I think that's neat, so it's
Yeah.
like, but mine is cool and loyal, so I know that like I can have any kind of opener come out, like punk or bluegrass or whatever,
And it all
and
just
everybody's
fits and
gonna be
works
like,
and
her
her.
comedy,
Yeah.
like it just like
Yeah.
whatever it takes to make a great show, and that's where going back to like doing other projects, like with Wade, my future husband, and I, my
Congratulations,
honey,
you
just got
did.
engaged in
When did-
December,
oh,
and
congratulations.
we're getting married in August. Like quick turnaround around, like just making everything work Tetris wise for life and the year.
Does he do music too?
No, he like is like a creative director essentially. He's built 2 honky-tonks that are really popular called Desert 5 Spot that's in LA and New York.
Okay.
They're going to expand to some other locations.
Are they coming to Nashville?
I don't know.
I mean, hello. Yeah, it's like a honky-tonk.
I
Right?
don't, I don't know. But they're like, planning their development as this, kind of country culture is like booming.
Yeah.
And Wade has an idea for everything. Like he can actually put it into writing and like put art around it. And so it's really fun to partner with him on like production events, and like we're doing an event for Patron the second year this year around Stagecoach, and we do a barbecue and we do a swimsuit like poolside party on Sunday, and we kind of like bookend a really cool festival where a lot of our peers come out, but like you just can't be on grounds all the time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So we
Yeah.
do like a little pre and kind of like wrap up for everybody, and it's just fun to like you put all those little creative ideas together. You shine a light on a bunch of old like new artists. You try to get someone big to stop by. You try to get the chain stitch guy to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
just
yeah.
pull together all those little
Yeah.
organic connections
Oh,
into
you guys
something.
are probably such an amazing collaborative too. Like
It's
your
fun.
2 minds together.
Yeah.
You wake
and
up
then
and
we
you're
have
like,
an art director and Macy,
Inspiring.
who's like my right hand. We like project man, and like we're just trying to build these little experiences. You know what I
Amazing.
mean? And it's just become
its own.
my whole, that's what my year looks like.
Yeah.
now. It's like
That's
whatever
awesome.
Wade and I want.
Yeah,
to do.
whatever
you're-
way you.
Yeah.
Cutie.
Yeah.
Cutie.
He's cute. I don't think I've met him, but maybe I did at your Christmas thing.
Christmas. He was probably like, "There's a lot of girls." Like now that he's
Yeah.
like we have a Christmas party where we merge like Sisters, the salon that's in the building that I have my store in, and it's like just a hen house though. And Wade's like,
yeah, that's where I met
he'll
Graham.
he'll get like some flowers or do something, and then jet for a little bit so that we could,
I
like,
remember
take
he was
over.
there and then
you
he
know,
left.
because you never
He's like,
know.
"I love you so
like
much."
Jody always put something crazy in the Secret Santa. You know,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you guys
so
have
funny.
your
Your dildo
You
party.
had the biggest. I can't believe I didn't take. I don't smoke weed, so I was like, why would I? It was a jar of weed, the biggest jar of weed I've ever seen. And when I got it, I was like, I mean,
Oh,
somebody
it was
can take
the
it.
and the white elephant.
in
We're
the
all
white elephant,
fighting
yeah.
over
And everyone's like,
things.
and Tara's like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I gonna
I'm like the
do?
covert killer.
don't
I
want it
got
to
all
go
her
bad.
skincare products that she brought, but I'm like, just don't say anything. Kind of like put it aside. You let everybody fight.
Oh
over
yeah, I
like
think
that.
I brought a bunch of
Like
glam.
Did you
stuff.
wind up
pillow or
getting the weed?
something.
No.
No.
Well, if you were with AJ,
I think
you would have
Macy
taken
got
it.
it.
Yeah, I would have taken
100%.
it.
Yeah.
But it's so fun to see everybody kind of go ham over one thing. And
Yeah,
then,
oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
somebody try to get away from the goofy thing.
That's where I met Graham, though. Graham Nation, who
Yeah.
just died.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is just like a shocker.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. At your house. Because he did he taught a class at Sister Salon.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like maybe 2 months
Okay.
ago.
Didn't know
Who
that
is
at all.
that?
He's a huge hairstylist in LA.
Yeah.
And I went to her house for Christmas, and I was like,
So he must have been Amelia's friend.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? Because I follow him on Instagram, but I've never met him before. And he was just so randomly like at your house. And I was like, hey, what are you doing here?
You see, I know no one. I'm like,
Yeah. And he was like, oh, I was just teaching a class at Sisters.
Mhm.
And somewhere he was in town with his scissor rep.
Yeah, yeah.
And we talked for like a long time. And he's just such a doll. And we just like followed each other on Instagram. But yeah, it was just so devastating because he's younger than us.
Oh,
That's
And it was
sad.
just such a random. He just dropped dead at the gym.
what the fuck?
Yeah,
Maybe attack a car.
it was like devastating because like they're. Well, I think he may have gotten into a car accident that morning.
Oh, really?
but then was like, I'm fine,
Oh,
and then went to the
no.
gym, and
Oh no!
so I don't know if that's.
hit his head and
We'll
probably
see.
Who
like
knows?
yeah.
That's tragedy.
And he just had a baby.
No.
He just got married.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And he was like such a kind, sweet angel. But he actually knew a lot of Nashville people randomly. Because I saw a lot of Nashville people posting about it when it happened. But it's just crazy.
Art is a community, one. You
Yes.
know? And
Well,
two,
of
a lot
course,
of people
duh,
come
makes
here
so
from
much
the, like they
Yeah.
kind of move around between
Yeah.
the cities, and Nashville's become one of those.
Oh, yeah. And how many people that, like, I circle back from, like, when I lived in LA for so long and then they're like here, or I met them in New York, or like this community isn't that.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
that
not
big.
that small.
No.
Yeah, it's not that big at all.
No, it's not that big. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
it's not that
yeah.
big. It's not
Right,
that-
it's not that big.
It's small.
It's small. It's not that big.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
what she will
Everybody,
always
it's
say.
all connected. Everybody knows someone.
Yeah, I
who
know,
knows
it's
someone
so
who knows
wild.
someone. Especially
So
if you
wild.
lived
Anyway.
in New York or LA too. And then here,
100%.
I'm from New York and spent many, many years in New York.
Mm-hmm. And then you just realize you all know all the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like
I'm like,
that.
oh, it's the same shit.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
which
All
I
the
love.
same
It's beautiful. You're like, you?
Yeah, like you.
That's where I struggle when we travel. Like, we'll be at South by in Austin, and they'll be like, "You don't remember me?" And I'm like, "Do you live in Detroit?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Well, duh!" Like, it's
you
it's
have a
really
brother named
hard.
Ted?
Like when you move people around, you're
Yeah.
like, "You're not
Yeah.
supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You live in Detroit.
You live in
They're like-
Detroit. Why are you here?
like, I don't
So
know. I don't know
crazy.
you in Texas. Like,
I get all the time. You look like you look so familiar. You look so familiar. I think I have a doppelganger.
No,
walking
I
around.
get all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
I think I have a doppelganger. You probably do too.
I've
We have
had people
Lisa
come up
Hahn.
to me. I had a full blown conversation with somebody who I had no idea who it was, but
Well,
they
that's
knew me.
Fine. That's me too.
No, they were like, "Oh my god, it's you," and I was like, "It's me," and they were like, "How's
you,
blah blah
you're
blah
like,
blah
share
blah?"
this
Wait,
link
they
with me of
knew
whoever
was
I
blah, blah,
am.
blah,
I want
right?
to see.
Who is this person?
Was blah 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 right? Like how is blah blah blah?
Yeah, I just went with it. I didn't.
Oh,
I just went with
It
it.
wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
No.
It wasn't me.
Yeah,
No.
she'd know.
No, I would know.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
know. Although I did have sex with a guy that I guess I went to community college with,
Uh-huh.
and he came up to me at a party and he was like, "Oh my god, Mari, it's me," and I was like, "You," and we went. He was great. He was so much fun. He was so cute. I had sex with him like
Again?
weeks later,
Oh, yeah.
no, and I was like, I have no idea who this person is, but like
Yeah.
we shared a lot of time together apparently.
Are you sure?
Wait,
No, we did because a couple weeks later it clicked.
Oh,
A
okay. I
couple
was
weeks
like,
later, I went, "Oh my god!
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I
yeah.
know exactly who he was."
Well, I see that when
It took
people
me a
pop
while,
up
though.
sometimes from like my New York
Nice.
days, like when you have like work friends and stuff, and like
There's
they're
so
like,
many
oh,
If it
people
happened
in
when
your
I was
life.
18 or 22,
You're like us. We've lived like 30
Uh-huh.
lives already.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot
and
of.
you changed your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
oh, if you change your hair, I know
Yeah,
exactly
you're
who
out.
you are.
I don't know who you
Oh
are.
no, I know. I know that you change your hair. I go, you
Yeah.
change your hair.
You change
That's
your
right.
hair.
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I'll program you now. This is you now. I'll try
Yeah.
again.
Unclick.
Don't fuck
Yeah.
around next time.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Are you in your store a lot? Your store is dope.
No, I need to like.
Okay.
I just need to like. You can only do so many things good. So, but I have a girl called Taya who's like crushing it at the store, and it's like you just have to have. And now it's like Taya, Maddie, Jess, and Felicity's in and out because like we only have room for so many girls, but you want the girls to like care, and like
Yeah.
for a while, like you're just like, it's up to y'all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't be there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But it's like, that's tricky. Most vintage stores are like, and then there's money left for profit. We've never profited. Like, it's
Yeah.
meant to be owner operated. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I need you girls to care. Like, it's yours. And it could be, like, I'd probably give some of it to Taya just so she loved it.
Yeah.
Like I love it.
Yeah.
But you gotta, like, it's its own
You have
thing.
to-
So
you
it's
have
like,
to have a passion
I'm
for it.
ready to this year, like, tune back in because retail's been really weird. It's like,
Yes.
and
Everything's been weird.
Meta or whatever you call like the Facebook world. It's like they learned, in my opinion, I know nothing, but I think this is pretty accurate that in 2020 they learned how much money we could make from e-com directly,
Yeah.
and then they changed that to where like you have to pay for visibility, which is all like makes sense. It's
Competitive
capitalism.
and- yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
what it means.
Yeah.
You know, but it doesn't work like algorithmically for my business because I have one of something. So ceramicist is like dead in the water because if I want to sell a flat iron, we can say, okay, let's go right now and manufacture 10,000 flat irons and then pay a formula to promote this flat iron and let's sell out of them. And that's possible.
Yeah.
But we can't do that with little shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like the little businesses are like choked out, so that like I can sell tickets, but it's hard to sell tickets to a specific place because they're just using a formula that doesn't work.
Yeah.
If I can only sell 200 or
Sure.
one of
Yeah.
the vintage t-shirts. So I'm like, how do you work around it? I always say, like, is it a problem or is it a parameter? Because if I make it the the thing I have to get around,
Yeah.
we'll do that. So like the store needs to get around Amazon and things that aren't really relative to
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
store, but have affected my store. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
totally.
Yeah.
And
feel
I'm like, and
yeah.
just hold on because like it sucks for years, in the economy or whatever. And I'm like, we'll just keep give
Just
it
keep it-
enough money to stay open,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then like it's gonna have its
And
like.
just keep pulling. Like, do you
Yeah.
do you find stuff or do they find stuff?
I'm like the sole buyer of the vintage stuff, but I was like, that's like not even working if it's not selling. So now we're back to like a little bit of vendor dealing where like we have this like great silver brand called Mojave Americana from Tucson because I can't source $25,000
Probably
of
Is it
silver.
beautiful? Is it turquoise?
It's
too?
amazing.
And,
It's a
like,
whole
yeah.
cabinet of it, and it's like that's where it's coming from in a good like where they can still get some meat on the bone, as you'd say, like a good margin.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like I need that dealer to come in, and like I will like I'm gonna keep the lights on. We're gonna like curate everything. We're gonna do great Instagrams, but like we need their inventory to have enough to like build it back up to where it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can't go find unless I'm touring 100 dates, and I don't want to do that. I just said I want to do chickens, so to get
No more
85.
songs for
You
you
were
guys.
like
leather
prioritizing
jacket.
Only
Yeah,
chickens.
100%. Like it's like and so, but it's like so now I'm looking at different ways to source and make it like representative of like whatever our brand
Your
is.
brand,
Yeah.
Which is like essentially like all the cool characters. It evolves.
I have a question because I like never can really like wrap my brain around like if I were on the road all the time, it feels like I would have such a hard time like taking care of myself.
I don't.
Okay.
No, I'm trying.
Copy.
But that's why I'm like I think I have to like I saw someone this morning post like I've been gone for a month and I'm excited to get back into my routine, and I kind of like was like, oh, do I have any routines?
What's my routine?
Like,
Yeah.
did I lose those? You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, my skin is like, I'm like, I love, like, I don't actually love putting on the makeup, but I'm like, I love like
know, I
looking good.
feel
But
like
then
I
I go
knew
to
that
bed
about
and I'm
you.
like, someone come and like
I gotta send you a list.
Give
of
me a
some-
little
power
something.
wash my face or something so that I can just lay here.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that repetitiveness is like almost impossible. And then I'm like, okay, you got to get that Dermalogica, like lightweight, like resurfacing. If
Yes, you do, because
oh
it's
yeah,
great.
well I left that yesterday
great.
in the Holiday Inn.
Oh,
so, no, not really, but you know what I
boo.
mean. But
Oh,
that
yeah.
becomes
Yeah,
your.
yeah.
And then I'm
Well,
like,
you have to
so-
have an at-home situation,
Sure.
and then you have to have a tour.
Which I kind
makeup
of want to almost be
situation.
like a pill vial, right? Like where it's like someone makes me like 14 of them. And like there's because I don't want to have a bunch of pack. Then I'm like, what am I gonna just live off travel sizes? Kind of, but then then you get into like
Yeah, no, you just have a separate. That's actually a good business.
Yeah.
for
yeah,
us.
so I'm
See,
saying,
it is.
but it needs to
Little-
be, but it needs to
We'll
be
put your kit
dailies
together
because
and
if
your
I
road kit
can't,
together.
if I'm gonna leave it by accident, I'm pretty good at not leaving stuff anymore. But it's like it's the toll of the
Yeah,
road, you
yeah.
know, is that like your Sonicare is in a Hilton garden and they threw it away, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like, so you start to like whittle down what you need
Yeah,
to survive. And then you start to sacrifice like mental health or,
Yeah.
you know, or fucking
Yeah.
taking care of your skin or whatever, you know? And so that's where I'm like, I said it the other day, like I'm really starting to also tune into like women and just having literally hormone surges to get through a month as a ovulating woman.
Yeah.
Like versus a guy. My guy friends handle success and stress differently than me.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I used to think it was just apathy. But I also think it's lack of raging hormones
Yeah.
in a month. Like where I'm just like, oh, they are stressed. They just don't have like
Yeah.
you know, when I'm like crying, my period is really coming.
Yeah.
And only I can say that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like,
Say it.
I see why it's hard to be gone.
Yeah.
And experiencing like, you know, what's wrong with me?
I know.
Having a
I
hard
just
day.
so many
And
people.
I'm like, how are you not having a hard day, Paul Cawthon? It's like, I'm a dude.
He's a man.
Like,
I'm a
I'm
man.
like, fuck.
Yeah.
But he is,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes he's human, you know, but
Yeah.
But it's like, I do
He's
think
such a goof.
he's so funny.
He's such a goof.
He's like, he has a cancer scare, and like I'm watching. He had like I think it's thyroid cancer, but I think it's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be okay.
Oh.
It's gonna be okay.
But they're like,
I don't know who this is
but
or we're
they're
talking
being
about, but I'm
very,
like, it's gonna be
it's
okay.
like
Like
very,
Paul's gonna be okay.
like they're
Paul's gonna be okay.
exercising, and I'm like, you know, like you've got to get through that. But then there's this aside of look at how this routine
Yeah.
will start because it has to. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Where I'm like, oh, I want to get on a treadmill. I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
I know.
You
Do
know,
it.
but you're like, it takes a lot to like remind you to go do that.
Yeah.
When you're like tired, you know.
It does.
So that's where I've been staying home, and I've been
Well,
like,
it has to be
getting
something.
my.
It has to get just to be a part of your lifestyle. You have to like, and
Yeah.
that's why you incorporate important things in routine. So you just make it like it's brushing your teeth,
I need
and
a
you just
lady with a
go.
ruler to come over.
I'll be your ruler. You want me to be your ruler?
If you would train me,
we
I'll
keep.
train you.
We keep.
Okay.
I'm gonna get my training.
I've
personal
not
training license.
even like.
I think
you
she
don't
needs
need
to be a
license.
person.
I'm gonna get my GC's license. I'm not getting it either. Like,
I'll just train you.
I'm gonna fake GC your house, and you're gonna fake train me.
I really want to train people.
wanna be
I'd be a great
strong
trainer.
and,
Yeah, let me
like-
get you strong.
Just for liability reasons.
For liability reasons,
but
yeah.
Oh,
I think you
fine.
should.
I already have programs that I can.
I mean,
put my
I'm not
friends on
kidding.
those
It's just
things.
like I
You'll see
need,
put on.
and then I know now that I could take that on the road if it's simple. You know what I mean? Because it's really just, and I move constantly. Like I'm like, my legs are hurting. I'm like, what's it? Oh, it's from carrying rocks.
Yeah,
and
you look
doing the
amazing.
pump.
You look,
Yeah.
because you don't stop. Yeah,
Yeah.
But I
yeah,
don't
we
do
just got to
things.
get that like.
I tried to like
little-
lift
that little-
something the other day and with my legs, and I was like trying to like get up on a step,
Yeah.
and I was like, you can do it, leg. And I was like,
You
this
can
leg
do
is-
it, leg. You got this. Quad. Listen, quad. Listen.
Where'd you
bro,
go, leg?
Guys,
I
leg.
need your help today.
It's like,
This is heavy.
You can do it.
Well, also, like, for what you do, you're constantly moving. You've got the
Yeah.
whole chicken coop, you got a farm, you got your music, you got your everything.
Yeah.
lifting and like like is going to make you so much stronger
Stronger.
to be able to do
Gonna
this
give
for
you
the
all
rest
the-
of
Yeah.
your life, to the rest of your life.
Yeah, I'm
so
looking
that
for
you
that.
cannot
Yeah.
truly not stop. Because in your head, you want your body to like match what's going on.
See, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna be good at guitar.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You might get better at the guitar if you
Yeah.
start lifting.
I will
Yeah.
smack.
My fingers will
you
get
with a-
stronger.
I will
Finger exercises.
finger exercises.
Yeah.
Put a little
Come
weight
on.
on your finger. That's so cute. Put little like sweatbands on the tip
Oh,
of
that's
your fingers.
cute. I'm just getting good at guitar. Like, yeah, great.
Oh, is that?
Cute.
Do people
Yeah.
really do?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was
they
the
do.
80s.
We're
They were
working
just
them out
trying
right
to
now.
keep us. They were like, just keep them fucking
Wow, look at your
distracted.
fingers.
There's
go.
no,
Wow, you're really
there's no internet, so.
There's
no
no internet,
exercise
so-
for everything. Like exercises for your face,
Oh,
I guess.
come on. Does that
I
work?
love that woman.
I'm gonna do the Botox and the workout. And
Let's
see
do it
what
together.
happens
Let's work out our
first.
face.
Okay. That actually does feel good.
Oh, it all feels.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm not doing that.
Okay, wait. So you have an album coming out. You're gonna headline.
Oh, yes, the black veil. Yeah. I have an album coming out. Like
And
all
you're-
the singles
yeah.
are going to come out this year.
And then you're headlining for 2 seconds.
Yeah, well,
Just in
obviously,
April?
yeah, I'm going to be doing my headline shows this year.
Hell yeah.
Visiting all my favorite haunts in
Why
America.
did I-
Where is
you
that?
know.
Your haunts?
April?
Like all my favorite, my haunts.
Oh, you're like
my
haunts.
old
You're little,
haunts, you know.
cute.
And
Is this April? You're headlining in April?
yeah, I'm coming out to Seattle and Portland, and then working my way down through San Francisco.
That
to
sounds longer than a
Stagecoach.
second.
Well, it's just like a little second. It's like a week.
Okay.
Is
It's like a week. You
Stagecoach
have to
the
go.
most fun?
Stagecoach actually is the most fun.
Yeah.
Like that's
I've heard
like
that from-
and that was like
I know.
important
Sounds
this
fun. I
year
mean, we
because
could
we worked
Next
so
year.
hard. What?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You could just jet set.
It's
Come
in April.
on. It's in April.
Maybe we can go.
What on earth could you not go for? Just come on. It's a few
We
days.
have so
You're
much
busy?
Yeah,
fun.
it'd be fucking fun.
Come on.
No, I'm not
Well, we
busy.
What
could
if you?
also Burke
I could
go
set
for
you
it
up an
first.
area to do one of these, like out there. What if it was like Touch Up does Stagecoach?
Oh, touch up to state.
You could touch me up.
Nikki
That would be
Lane?
really kind of good.
We get your
something.
workout in. We touch you up. We have
Come
little
on.
podcast situations.
Stop.
Stop
I had an
it.
influencer house. I bet some of those girls wants their touch up.
Hundo
Oh, I'm
Pasundo,
sure.
They do.
Come on.
They all do. We can
We'll
just
tell
have
our
little
agent.
glitters.
Okay, fine. Have your agent
She'll
call my
dibbly-dobbly.
agent, which is just like me right now for this kind of job that we're doing.
Well, they just like
I have one.
any celebrities or anybody that's going or brands that want to do things like that, they'll go through an agency so they'll know before.
That would be
you know.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Guys, why
What is
not?
it? April what?
April, I don't know. 23rd,
Tomorrow.
23rd.
I think it's tomorrow.
23rd,
Yeah, tomorrow.
20, it's tomorrow.
April tomorrow.
It's good. You're very smart.
I'm like, it's
Wow, you guys are going to look like you teleported based on the social media
God,
around
I
this.
wish.
I know.
Yeah. You're
wish
like,
we
you know
could.
what? We're going to fucking go tomorrow.
I know. And then this episode.
Pack your
gonna happen.
bag.
Let's
You're like,
teleport
Sherry's
right
like,
now.
great. I
I
love
actually
it.
think I'm going to be out of town 25. 26,
Stop
27.
doing that. Just
I know.
come. Where are you going? Like,
Where are you going?
It's probably
Kathleen
private.
Madigan's shooting her special. I'm so excited. In Wisconsin.
Are you going to do her
Wisconsin.
makeup?
I'm going to go eat cheese in Wisconsin and
So-
steak.
I think I
That's
did
gonna be a
something
really
bad
good time.
underneath
Yeah.
here.
That's going to be a really good
Good
I
time.
think my
time.
nail is broken under my nail, and it hurts.
What?
Oh, I hate
I just
when
like
that
I
happens.
smashed it yesterday, and the feeling
Oh,
of
your
it is
nail
I think
under the
it's,
nail.
I think it's I
Oh.
think it's
It's
I
off.
think it's I
It's
don't
off.
think it's
I
don't
know
think
that
it's a
feeling.
nail anymore.
I know that feeling.
Should I ignore it
I know
longer?
that
I'm gonna
feeling.
ignore it for a few more days.
You
It
know what though?
hurts.
Sometimes when it's under,
No.
no, sometimes it feels worse. Like you think it is because it's happened to me before. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's gone, and then you take it off and you go, okay, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah.
It's sad under there.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
That's the thing. Is the long nails and then like the manual labor. They're not really
It's
friends.
No,
it's
it's not-
hard.
it's not a hand
I
in
will
hand.
plant and pot and do all the things
Uh-huh.
without gloves on because
That's
I'm just
the
I don't
dumbest.
care.
I know. with
I
your
mean,
beautiful
I do
nails.
that.
I don't care.
I won't handle meat anymore without gloves on with the nails.
Yeah.
No, creeps
Yeah.
me out.
Really?
No, skip,
I'm
skip,
giving
skip,
mine a
skip.
break.
I
They're
pull
natural
weeds
right
with
now.
gloves on, but just like if I
That's the other
in
reason
dirt,
why I'm bad at
coat.
guitar because I will not cut my nails short enough to be good at guitar.
Oh,
and
well,
I
there it is.
apologize for it on stage to people. And I don't think that they think that's appropriate. For
Nikki
me
Lane, you are going to
forego.
get good at guitar.
Yeah,
this
you're
year. I
going to.
feel this
With
for
long
you.
nails?
With
you're
long-
you're gonna lift and you're gonna get good at the guitar
Okay.
and all your endeavors. Are
Yeah,
just
because
gonna,
I'm opening for Sierra Farrell like all through the fall.
love her.
as a trio. So it's like toughen
Oh
up
my God,
or
that's
else.
so cute.
You want to suck?
Wait, who's the
Do you want-
third?
Yeah, do you
No,
want to suck?
it'll probably be me and Cotton and Ben for some of them, and then me and Kelly and Juliet for some of them, because there's different configurations of a
Okay,
trio that
okay.
feels good.
Okay.
And everybody wants to go open up with me for Sierra. That sounds so fun.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does.
But we need to keep it mellow so that it, like we can, because I want to run around with her. It's really, listen. Sometimes the art is the musician job is to facilitate the dreams.
Ugh, I wish I wasn't pregnant so I can go on
traveling
tour with
your
you guys and
friend.
glam
I mean,
the
you could
fuck out
like
of
a
you.
day or something, like with a baby. I could hold a baby.
Oh, she can hold a baby.
I could babysit while you do my makeup. It's not nice. I'll be like,
Oh, not with a newborn.
stop. I'll hold him.
Newborns.
Fine.
The,
Did I just do the gender
when
reveal
your
just
baby
now?
goes
Oh,
old,
no.
you're gonna be like, oh my God, I missed that newborn stage. All they do is just sleep, and
Yeah.
then they'll
Well,
cry. You
that's
put them on
cute.
your tit. Newborn's actually
Yeah,
the
it's
easiest.
great.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll see.
that's
right.
the easiest.
All
We'll
right.
see.
All
Stay
right.
tuned.
Did I
Stay
tell
tuned.
you
Two
that-
days.
Little baby in
Please.
one hand, chicken in the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicken tit. Not chicken on the tit, but the baby on the tit.
Well,
and the
we
chicken
don't
on the-
know.
It's
Have you
just
ever- have you ever
even
milked
more
a chicken?
reason to get you out to Stagecoach this year.
Yeah.
Mm.
No,
This
totally.
is it. This is like the get on out.
Chicken
Touch
or
it
the
out.
egg?
What came first, the chicken
Yeah.
or the egg?
So, you know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
what that
I don't know
means.
what that means either. Ducks don't have chickens.
Well, they're like in creation. Was there a chicken or an egg? An egg comes from a chicken, but the chicken comes from the egg. So what was first, the chicken or the egg?
What do you think was first?
Is that
Or
is
like
this
a, like a
religious thing?
worm or something.
A worm.
I just don't know.
I just,
I
don't,
just
know.
don't know. I just don't
I
know.
just don't know.
I live
You
by that.
know?
Because
And
I'm
I'm
kind of
like-
like, is it like glass half full or full?
Okay,
no,
stop. Have
but
you heard
is
of the
there a
band?
right or wrong
Obviously,
answer?
Alien Ant Farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I figured out how they got their name. I was high, and I was like, okay. What if every star is a sun?
That's a lot of suns.
It's true.
Okay.
Okay. Well, technically, aren't they?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think they all have planets, obviously.
No.
Every star is a sun. That's what I was told.
Every,
Okay.
star- every star is a sun.
What if we are someone's science project and we're just like in their garage, like in a little like clear like crab like terrarium, hermit crab terrarium, and we are little ants in their science project.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I would
and
think
then
that too if I was
we
high.
are
Yeah.
alien ant farms.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
I had that idea and I was like, that'd be a great band name. Whoa, someone already did that.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
But I was
Oh,
like, is
but
that
you-
how
and
they
you were
got
like, if
there?
I- if
Because
I were
that's
to
how I
cover-
got
do
there.
it,
I
I
want to
would-
talk to
yeah.
that guy.
Oh,
and be
yeah.
like, because I was like, and obviously, God, I'm like not going to deny it because I see it for keeps humanity together and apart. Like it's confusing.
Absolutely. What
a
do you
lot.
think's going on up there? We're
Mother
just that
Nature's
to
in
them.
charge.
They're that
There's
this
a
to
lot.
them.
There's a lot, but I just don't know. And so
When you said if I had a band named Alien Ant Farm, did
Yeah.
you also say I would do a cover of And Are You Okay?
That'd be
Are you
sick.
okay?
Are you okay, Annie?
Annie?
Do a cover
You've
of
been hit by.
Yeah,
You've
no.
been struck by.
of Alien Ant Farm doing a
Cover
of
of
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
yeah, so that's the
Yeah,
vibe.
that's the vibe.
But no, but I'm like, yeah, it's a big world.
It's a big.
It's a big world. We've
Chicken or
lived
egg? No idea.
this much of it.
No idea.
and
Doesn't
we have
even
no idea.
fucking matter.
It
anymore.
doesn't fucking
That's
matter.
The thing.
No.
No,
No.
nothing does.
No,
Not
nothing.
really, nothing does.
Yeah.
As
Except
Jim
for all the
Carrey once
things.
said,
What do you say?
nothing matters.
Good morning, good afternoon,
Yeah.
and good night.
My
He
first
said
record
nothing
was
matters.
called All or Nothing,
Yeah.
and if you listen to the lyrics, like I was like, pretty smart with some of my lyrics. I didn't even notice but it's the truth. It's like you will be held responsible for, accountable for all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's like you should just live as if it could be all.
Yeah. And we're the aliens
But it
to
could be
them.
nothing.
That's the fucked up thing. We're
You
the
know?
aliens.
Oh, they're
To
just
other
scared
people.
of
Like,
us.
we're the aliens. To that, we're aliens up there. They're like, look at you guys.
Oh, look at you weirdos.
Look at
doing
you
all-
weirdos all
We're
day. What are you
tornadoes.
doing?
That's so weird. What are
Yeah.
you guys doing?
Hello.
What's ecom? What are the Kardashians? It's so stupid. We're freaked out by you guys.
Yeah. All we have to do is just go, okay. And we did it. We did it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been here so much longer than you.
Yeah.
Just fucking weird that out.
Or have they?
See?
We
Yeah,
don't know.
I
We
know.
just
We
don't
don't
know.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. We're about to get high and
We
think about
don't
it even
know.
more.
So
We're
I'm
about
like,
to watch
you know,
Nikki get
yeah,
high.
100%.
Watch even more.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna
I
smoke
love
a bunch
that.
of weed outside. We're gonna do a
Great.
bunch of creative stuff, and we're just gonna live as if
Yeah.
The most.
And then we're
there
gonna,
is someone telling me whether or not I get into the next layer. I'm going to live as well as I can to be able to get in and be like, dude, what? I did my best. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Yep.
or
We
nothing,
did our best.
you know? And then I'm like a squirrel next
Yeah.
or something.
All right, well, let's go make that happen and then come back in here and shoot another podcast. I actually want to hear that.
Yeah, that's
episode.
funny. I'd be like,
Yeah.
sober. I'd be
Tune
like,
in.
what are you
What?
guys talking about? Oh my God. Everyone
What
go follow.
did we talk about?
We never know what we talk about.
That's great.
No, it's
It just-
great. Yeah, we just
just
have really
go.
great conversation with people.
We're literally just filming a normal conversation that Mari and I would have with people that we would have conversations with anyway.
Yeah.
So is it a podcast or is it not? Chicken or egg? Egg or chicken? Chicken, egg. We have no idea.
Doesn't matter.
Water
For the
lettuce.
sake of selling this shit, is a
Consensus.
fucking podcast, by the way. It's called The Touch Up.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. See you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye.